Hello dear students, it's time for your social science class and we have started the chapter 10, Spheres of the Earth. We already completed the first part of this chapter and now we will start with the next part. But before moving ahead with this chapter, let's revise what we studied in the previous class. We studied that there are 4 spheres of the Earth: lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. In the previous video, we started with the lithosphere and then the hydrosphere. So what did we study about the lithosphere? That it is the rock sphere or the solid sphere. Litho means soil. So the upper layer of the earth is made up of soil. So that is called lithosphere. It contains about 29% of the earth's surface. The land which we see has about 29% of the earth's surface. Mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. all these things come on the lithosphere. Then we studied that when we go into the depth of the lithosphere, the temperature keeps on increasing and it increases by 30% degree Celsius per kilometer. And then we also studied about magma, the molten rocks. We can also find that in the lithosphere when we move towards the core of the earth. Then about the importance of lithosphere. Why do we need lithosphere? There are various things, like we survive with the help of lithosphere from food, the agriculture, the vegetation. We get that from lithosphere to dwelling, our houses, even the industries, the roadways, all those things are dependent on lithosphere. So basically, lithosphere is the base of our existence. After lithosphere, we studied about hydrosphere. So if 29% of the earth's surface is lithosphere, what about the other 71%? It is made up of hydrosphere. All the water resources that we find on earth is a part of hydrosphere. So out of all the water resources, 97% of the total earth's water is in oceans. We know oceans, they are huge water mass. And basically we have 4 main oceans: Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean and Arctic Ocean. Most of the water, that is 97% of the earth's water, is in oceans and it is saline water. That is, it is made up of salt. About 2/3 of the remaining part, that is out of 100, if 97% is in ocean and 2/3 of the remaining 3%. So the remaining 2% we find in the form of ice sheets on the glaciers, on the poles, or even on the high mountains like the Everest. So that 2/3 part is in the form of ice sheets, and the remaining 1/3 part, which we actually consume, is in the form of lakes and rivers. The existence of hydrosphere is the existence of living being. How can we say that? Because we need hydrosphere, we need water. It is equally important. In fact, it's more important. We need moisture. Even for plant, they need water for growing and all. Just not for our day-to-day uses, but water is useful in many other ways. We get useful minerals from water, from the oceans. Then we get even seafood is an important diet in many parts of the world. So that is there, and waterways is also an equal mode of important mode of transportation. So hydrosphere is also necessary for the existence of living being. So that was revision. Now the first 2 spheres are there. Lithosphere we completed. Hydrosphere is also done. What comes next? It is the atmosphere. So let's study about the atmosphere. Like lithosphere and hydrosphere, I cannot get many pictures of the atmosphere because atmosphere is made up of the gases on the surface of the earth, and we know we cannot see these gases. So still, this is the picture from space where the layer you can see above Earth, that is the atmosphere. Let's study in detail about atmosphere. The Earth is surrounded by a layer of gases up to the approximate height of 850 to 1000 km. The layer of various gases is called atmosphere. So, the layer which we just saw from the space, we know that that layer is surrounding the Earth and it is made up of gases with the approximate height of 850 to 1000 kilometers. And this layer of gases is called atmosphere. The atmosphere cannot be seen with naked eyes. Various gases, water vapors, dust particles, particles of asteroids, salt particles, and even microorganisms, insects, are mixed with the atmosphere. So, what is atmosphere made of? It is basically made up of gases, but along with different gases, water vapor, dust particles, particles of asteroids. We studied about asteroids in chapter 9. The particles of those asteroids, those space objects, salt particles, and even microorganisms, that is insects, they all are mixed with the atmosphere. But still, we cannot see the atmosphere with naked eyes. Without any scientific device, we cannot see the atmosphere. Atmosphere is colorless, odorless, and tasteless as well as transparent. Do we have like a pink atmosphere or green atmosphere? No, it does not have any color. It does not have any odor. We cannot smell the atmosphere. I mean, there are certain gases which can be smelled, but that does not mean that atmosphere has some kind of odor. And tasteless. We can't even taste the atmosphere, as well as transparent. Otherwise, how we can see the sky? The atmosphere is there, that layer is there, but it is transparent. Atmosphere comprises of solid, liquid, and gaseous matters. Now, water vapor and moisture and all, that is a part of, that comes as liquid matter. Solid matters, the insects, microorganisms, they are very small, but still they are part of the atmosphere. The particles of asteroids, they are solid matter, but still they are part of the atmosphere. And the gases, they are the gaseous matters. Major gases in atmosphere are nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, ozone, etc. These are the major gases in atmosphere. The proportion of these gases is more compared to any other thing in the atmosphere. Which are they? Nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, ozone, etc. The atmosphere near the Earth's surface is dense. Dense means thick. The atmosphere near the surface of the Earth is thick, and as it moves, as we move away from the Earth, the atmosphere starts becoming thinner, and it comes to a point where the atmosphere is just no more. We are directly into the space then. Let's see the ratio of gases in the atmosphere. Well, in your textbook, the exact image consists like nitrogen is 78.03%, oxygen 20.99%, argon, it is a kind of gas, that is 0.94%, carbon dioxide 0.03%, and other gases have 0.01%. Scientifically, if we see that various scientists will have different kind of ratio, but still, this is the basic ratio of the gases in the atmosphere. There are various other gases, but still these can be the basic detail which is necessary for you to understand that the maximum is nitrogen. And next comes oxygen. Nitrogen with 78% and oxygen 20.9%. As we go above the Earth's surface, ratio of most of the gases in the atmosphere decreases. That is, we are on the land, but when we start moving away from the land, that is when we move above the Earth's surface, ratio of most of the gases decreases. That is, nitrogen decreases, oxygen decreases, and other gases also decrease. Since carbon dioxide is heavy gas, it is dense in the lower strata of the air and decreases in the above strata. Strata means section, or you can keep in mind layer. Carbon dioxide is a heavy gas, so it is thicker, it is dense in the lower strata. It is dense, it is thick in the lower layer of the air and decreases in the above strata. Gases also have mass to it. So as carbon dioxide is heavy, it is thick in the lower strata, it is thick below in the below section of the air, and when we move above in the above layer, the carbon dioxide is less. The presence of carbon dioxide after the height of about 20 kilometers, oxygen after the height of 110 kilometers, and nitrogen after the approximate height of 130 kilometers is seen decreasing. As carbon dioxide is heavy gas, it is thick in the lower strata of the air. So till 20 kilometers, carbon dioxide will be there, but after that, it is decreasing. Oxygen is decreasing after the height of 110 kilometers. So if you are climbing a mountain and it is more than 100 kilometers high, the mountaineers need to carry the oxygen tank with them, so that oxygen is necessary for our breathing. So for that, they need to carry. And the presence of nitrogen after the approximate height of 130 kilometers is seen decreasing. At high altitudes, there are only light gases like hydrogen and helium. Now, light gases. Now students, I'm sure you must have seen or even played with the balloons which are filled with light gas. Light gases which easily fly in the air. The normal air balloon do not fly, but the light gases, the helium balloons, they fly away in the air. Why? Because they are very light. So at higher altitudes, only light gases like hydrogen and helium can be found. The ratio of ozone gas in the atmosphere is very less. This gas absorbs ultraviolet rays of sun and protects the planet from the excessive heat of the sun. This gas mostly prevails in the open ground at the time of early morning. In the same way, its ratio is more in the air around the seashore. That is why people go for morning walks in such places, because ozone is healthier gas. Now, ozone gas is also a part of the atmosphere, but it is very less. And why do we need this gas? It absorbs the ultraviolet rays of the sun. Sun, we know that it's a huge ball of gas, and the rays of the sun, if without the ozone, they will be very harsh. So ozone gas absorbs the ultraviolet rays of the sun and it protects the planet, it protects the earth from the excessive heat of the sun. This gas, ozone, is found in the open grounds at the time of early morning, and it is found in the air around seashore. So that is why people go for morning walks at these places, because ozone is a healthy gas and we need it. Due to the various particles in the atmosphere, sunlight is seen spreading on the earth. It does not become dark or bright suddenly. Sky colors of dawn before sunrise and dusk after sunset are because of dust particles. The rays are reflected through the dust particles and we get sunlight. Now we know that sun rays are falling directly, but still, when the sun rises or when the sun sets, when the sun rises, it's not that immediately when we turn on the light and now it's day, but it happens gradually. And It's not like the sun has set, so we switched off the light and it's dark now. But it does not happen suddenly, because the sky changes its color and the dust particles are present in the atmosphere. But because of the presence of these particles, the sunlight is spreading on the earth, and the sun rays are reflected through the dust particles and we get sunlight. Sound can be heard with the medium of atmosphere. Sound has that waves are there, sound waves are there, and the same way light also travels through the atmosphere. The waves of sound and light are reflected in the atmosphere and returns to the earth's surface, so that transmission of radio and television become possible. We listen to the radio as the waves are traveling through the atmosphere, and the same thing is about television. Heavenly objects such as meteorites burn due to the friction of atmosphere and get damaged. The asteroids and meteorites are moving around freely in the space, but as they enter the Earth's atmosphere, that friction happens with it and hence they burn up and get damaged. So, atmosphere proves as a natural shield for the Earth. It not only protects us from the meteorites, but the presence of ozone in the atmosphere also keeps us safe from the heat of the sun. It absorbs the ultraviolet rays and it also protects us from the heavenly objects like meteorites. Hence, it is a natural shield for the Earth. So that was about the atmosphere. Now the last is the biosphere. Let's study about it. Biosphere. The part of environment like lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere, wherever living being is seen alive, is called biosphere. So whether it is from in the air or the organisms in the water or even the animals or the living beings who are living below the surface of the earth or above the surface of the earth. All these living creatures are a part of the biosphere. Biosphere is comprised of variety of life forms. This living sphere includes human, vegetation and animal life. Living beings on the earth's surface get food from biosphere. Organisms of biosphere provide variety of food and raw material to the human world. Thus, existence and subsistence of human life is based on biosphere. Now, all the life forms. You have studied about natural and man-made things. So, everything which is alive, all things which have life are a part of the biosphere, whether they are the human beings, whether it is the animal life or the vegetation. They all are the part of biosphere. Living beings on the earth's surface get food from biosphere. Now, we are not only the humans, but the animals also get food from biosphere. We do not eat the land from the lithosphere. We do not just drink the water, but the food we get it from the biosphere. Organisms of biosphere provide variety of food and raw material to the human world. All the resources, not only the minerals we get from the lithosphere or the hydrosphere, but the raw material which is needed for our existence, the food and the raw material we get from the biosphere. The organisms of biosphere provide us that. Thus, existence and subsistence. Existence means we are living, we are alive, and subsistence, how to stay alive, how to maintain, how to survive. So that maintenance also is dependent on the biosphere. Impact of human activities. Impact means what is the effect of human activities on the biosphere. Biosphere is mostly in balanced condition. Like everything is there and it is planned. Like that equilibrium, that cycle is running. We have studied about the food chain and we know all those things. But what happens when human beings disturb this equilibrium? For their own development, for the development of human being, they exploit the environment. They disturb the chain, and this way it comes at risk. This condition is harmful for human being as well as for environment. When certain activities like removing the forests or killing the animals, all these things disturb the environment, and it is harmful not only for the human beings but also for the environment. We have studied like this global warming is taking place, the climatic changes are there. All these things happen because human beings disturb the environment. They exploit the environment for their own development, and this condition results to harming the human being as well as the environment. So with this, the explanation of the chapter gets over. I hope it was clear to you. The exercises will be done in the next class. Now, I would like to say something to the students who have this topic for their project. You do not have to copy everything from the textbook. You can include pictures and just explain the important points as I have done in the presentation. The pictures were not given in your textbook, but you can get them easily. So, you have to bring out your own creativity in the project. And I hope students who have other topics will follow the same kind of thing. You do not just have to copy everything from the textbook. Take the important portion, try to get some pictures or draw by yourself and show your creativity in it. So that's it. We'll do the exercises in the next class. Till then, you can revise the chapter again through the video or you can go through the textbook. There's nothing more to be said. Just enjoy your weekend. Bye.